Hello and welcome to another session of Learn Spanish with Faraz. In today's class, we'll be doing the difference between verb ser and estar. If you are looking for this topic, then I'm assuming you already know the conjugation of verb ser and the conjugation of verb estar. Now, this can be one of the most confusing topics for English speakers to learn because in English you don't have the concept of ser versus estar. So in today's class, we are going to learn the differences between ser and estar. Ser is to be and estar is to be as well. In English, it is conjugated as is, are, am. So if ser is, are, am and estar is, are, am as well, then how do we know when to use what? And it can be really perplexing for beginners because they don't have that concept in their own language. So it can be a bit hard to come around to. But with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to do it without any problems at all. Now, so basically, use ser for the things that are more permanent in nature, and you use a star for things that are temporary. So the conjugation of verb ser is soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. And the conjugation of verb estar is estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, and están. Now, what do you use ser with mostly? Whenever you're talking about profession, if you're talking about nationality, if you're talking about inherent trait, if you're talking about personality trait, if you're talking about possession, if you're talking about color, if you're talking about time. And when do you use a star? You use a star when you're talking about location of something and when you're talking about temporary, physical, and mental state. What do I mean by temporary, physical, or mental state? It means a feeling or emotion that you're feeling right now, or something that is temporary and will pass. For example, if I say I am angry, so it's a temporary mental state. I'm not going to remain angry for the rest of my life. It's not a perpetual state that I am in. So that will be a start. If I say I am nervous, I'm not going to stay nervous for the rest of my life. It's an emotion. It's a temporary mental state that I'm feeling right now. Maybe next morning I wake up, I will be completely fine. If I say I am tall, now that is an inherent trait. And whenever you're describing an inherent trait, you always use verb ser. If I say I am intelligent, now if somebody's intelligent, obviously they're going to remain intelligent for the rest of their lives. It's not like that one day they're stupid, the next day they're intelligent. If I say Anna is Australian, now I'm talking about her nationality. So if you're talking about somebody's nationality, that is said as well because it's a permanent thing. It's not going to change unless you change your nationality. And again, it's not a state that one day you wake up as an Indian and the next day you wake up as a French person. It doesn't happen like that. So remember, whenever you're describing inherent traits or personality traits, you use the verb ser. And whenever you're describing temporary physical and mental state, in that case, you use verb estar. Now, if I say I am confused, I'm confused will be again estar because it's a temporary state. If I say I am excited, again a temporary state, estar. If I say the dog is dangerous, now that will be ser because I'm talking about the inherent trait of somebody or someone. In case that is the dog, he's dangerous. The dog is going to remain dangerous for the rest of its life. That's the nature of the dog. It's a dangerous dog by nature. If I said this is my book, I'm talking about my possession, again verb ser. If I said this is my house, again verb ser. Mona is the brother, oh sorry, Mona is the sister of Anna, again it will be ser. If I'm talking about origin, this book is from Italy. Again, I'm talking about origin of the book, verb ser. The wine is from France. Again, I'm talking about the origin of wine. In that case, again, verb ser. So it's pretty simple. Now, let's make some sentences. So if I say, for example, the boy is tall. Now, what will this be? Ser or estar? This will be verb ser, obviously, because I'm talking about an inherent trait, right? So it will be el chico es alto. But if I'm saying the boy is tired, now tired, again, it's not a permanent state, it's not an inherent trait. Being tired is a temporary physical state. So this will be again verb estar. El chico está cansado. Right now, if I say he is a teacher, I'm talking about his profession. Profession is always ser. Él es profesor. If I say he is Spanish, again I'm talking about the nationality, which is always ser. Él es español. If I say he is angry, now this is estar, obviously, because being angry is a temporary mental state. Él está enfadado. Right? So that is the main difference between the verb ser and estar. So whenever you're talking about somebody's profession, nationality, inherent trait, personality, possession, color, or time, then it is verb ser. If you're talking about location or temporary physical and mental state, in that case, you'll have to use verb estar. Now, if I say the car is red, I'm talking about the color of the car. It's just going to stay red, right? It's not like the car is red today, tomorrow it'll be blue, next day it will be green. So it's going to stay red. That's a permanent thing unless you color it, which is, again, it's not going to happen every day. So the color of something is mostly ser, but if it is something is changing color every day, then you can say right now it is green, right now it is blue. In that case, you'll be using estar because it is temporary. Now, whenever you're describing a location of something, location is estar. There is an exception to the location rule, but you don't have to get into it right now. If I'm talking about an event like a party or a concert, in that case you use verb ser, but let's not get into it right now. 99% of the time when you're talking about location of something, it's going to be verb estar. Now, what do I mean by location? For example, if I say I am in the class, I'm talking about my location. Where am I? I'm in the class. If I say he is outside, again, I'm talking about his location. Where is he? He is outside. If I say Paris is in France. Again, I'm talking about the location of Paris. Where is Paris located? It is located in France. Even though Paris is going to be there for the rest of its lifespan, or Paris is always going to be there. It's not like that Paris is in France today and tomorrow it will be in Malaysia. But it doesn't matter whether this is temporary or permanent. If I'm talking about location of something, then it will be a start, even if that location is permanent. So you have to keep that in mind. Don't get confused here. So if you're talking about location of something, even if the location is permanent, you will have to use a start. So it will be Paris está en Francia. Right? If I say I am in the class, yo estoy en la clase. If you write yo soy en la clase, that will be wrong. If you say Paris es en Francia, that will be wrong as well. Similarly, if I say are, the boys are behind the house. Now, behind is detrás de. We'll do another class with the prepositions. So, los chicos, again, talking about the location of the boys. Then it'll be los chicos están, detrás de la casa. If I say the boys are tall, los chicos son altos. Again, it'll be said because I'm talking about an inherent trait. If I say the boys are angry, los chicos están enfadados. Los chicos están enfadados. Right. Because I'm talking about the temporary state of the voice. Remember this, for say, if something is permanent in nature, you always use say with it. If something is temporary in nature, you mostly use estar with it. So mostly if you're let's get back to it, if you're talking about somebody's profession, nationality, inherent traits, personality, possession, color, time, you will always be using ser. If you're talking about a location of something, or if you're talking about temporary physical and mental state, in that case you'll be using ser. Now there are some adjectives you can use both ser and estar with it, and according to the verb that you're using with the adjective, the meaning of that adjective will change. For example, happy is feliz. But if I say yo estoy feliz, that means I'm happy right now. I'm in a happy state right now. If I say yo soy feliz, that means that is my inherent trait. I'm a happy person by nature. That's my personality. So there is a difference, right? Let's say now triste is sad, right? If I say Ana es triste. That means Anna is such a sad girl, like she's such a sad person. God, I'm describing her personality. But Anna, let's say Anna is a very cheerful girl. She just got her result and she failed all the exams. So obviously, after seeing her report card, she's going to be really sad. So after seeing her report card, she's sad. In that case, it will be Ana está triste. So that is the difference between ser and estar. Now, gordo. Now, gordo, some people might say it's a state, like I can become thin, but again, you don't become thin overnight. Right? If you're fat, you'll have to work on it. It will take a while before you become thin. So, in that case, if I want to say let's say if I say Anna is fat, that will be Anna is gorda. If I say Anna is looking fat, now let's say I look at Anna. Anna is a thin girl, but Anna has put on a jacket which makes her look fat. So if I say you're looking fat in that jacket, okay, Anna is fat, then I'll say Anna está gorda, right? If I say I am fat, like I'm a fat person, I'm like really fat, then I will say yo soy gordo. But let's say I'm looking at myself in a mirror that makes me look fat. So I'm not fat, but I'm looking fat. Then I'll say yo estoy gordo. And let's say that if I am looking at a photograph of myself and I look fat in that photo, so I can say yo estoy gordo en esta foto, right? So remember this. Now there is this adjective called listo. Meaning of listo with se means clever or smart, and with estar it means ready. So there are other adjectives like that as well. We'll do a separate class with those adjectives. But remember, there are some adjectives that completely change their meaning with ser or estar. So if I say Ana es lista, that means Ana is very clever or Ana is smart. If I say Ana está lista, that means Ana is ready. If I say I'm ready for the exam, yo estoy listo para el examen. If I say I am very smart, yo soy muy listo. That is the difference. Boys and girls, remember that. So, again, pretty straightforward. You just need to keep these rules in your mind. And in the beginning, it can be a bit annoying when you're not used to this concept, but the more you practice, the better you get at it. So try to do as many exercises as you can. I'm going to link some exercises as well in my next class where I'll be talking about the adjectives that we use with verb ser and estar. So you can go and check that out as well. So again, if you're talking about somebody's profession, nationality, inherent traits, personality traits, possession, color, time, then you will always be using ser. In these cases, you will never use a star. Well, there are some exceptions, but we are not getting into exceptions right now. And if you're talking about location of something, and if you're talking about temporary physical and mental state, then you'll be using a star, right? So now let's do some examples. Now, if I say Ana dash muy trabajadora. So, what do you think would come here? Ser or estar? Now, trabajadora is hardworking. I'm talking about her personality trait, so it will be Ana es muy trabajadora. Obviously, I cannot say Ana está muy trabajadora. It's not like Ana is being hardworking right now, and tomorrow she will be a lazy slob. No, Ana is hardworking. That's her nature. That's the inherent trait that she has. That's her personality. So this will be ser Ana es trabajadora. Now, if I say la chica en el parque. Now I'm talking about the girl dash in the park. I'm talking about the location of the girl. And location is always a star. So it will be La chica está en el parque. If you write La chica es en parque, es en el parque, that will be wrong. Now, los estudiantes dash muy altos. The students are very tall. Again, permanent or inherent trait. It will be los estudiantes son muy altos. If I say los estudiantes dash muy cansados. Now, cansados is tired. I'm talking about the boys are tired. Tired. Being tired is a temporary physical state. So obviously it will be los estudiantes están muy cansados. If I say la mesa dash negra. The table is black. So again, talking about color, you always use ser unless the color is changing every 5 minutes. Okay, if the table is black, it's going to remain black for a long time. Okay. Now, if I say, now let's take this example. If I say the sofa is comfortable, and I'm talking about the inherent trait of sofa, it's the nature of sofa, it's a comfortable sofa. So el sofá es cómodo. Right. But if I say I am comfortable, I am feeling comfortable, or I am not feeling comfortable, I am feeling, in that case, you'll be using a star because you're describing your state. For example, let's say if I say I am very comfortable in this room, so yo estoy muy cómodo en esta habitación. In that case, I'm talking about my state. Okay. So I'll be using a star. But if I say this chair is comfortable, the sofa is comfortable, obviously I'll be using say because I'm talking about the inherent trait of the object. So these are the main differences between the ser and estar. Now you also use verb ser to describe time. For example, if I say it is 8 a.m., you say son las 8 de la mañana. So you're using verb ser. Even though time is always changing, it's not permanent. You always use verb ser to describe it. Location is always a star, except for events, but we are not going to get into it right now. So if I'm saying the book is on the table, El libro está sobre la mesa. If I'm saying the boys are in the park, the dog is inside the house, the cat is outside the house, the car is behind the tree, we are in Spain right now, my mother is in the hospital, my father is in the office, we are next to the bank, my house is far from the beach. My house is next to the beach. My house is near the market. My house is far from my school. If I'm talking about location of everything, anything, sorry, then you will be using verb estar. So pretty simple. It's not that difficult. Now let's deal with some more examples. Now if I say my father is very hardworking, but he's tired today. My father is very hardworking, but he's tired today. Now, hardworking is a personality trait, it's an inherent trait. And tired is something that is temporary. It's a temporary physical state. So, this, for describing this, I'll be using ser. For this, I'll be using estar. So, it will be what? Mi padre es muy trabajador, pero es muy sorry, está muy cansado hoy. Right, so estar here and ser here. Mi padre es muy trabajador. My father is very hardworking, pero está muy cansado hoy. But he's very tired today. Another example. If I say I am drunk, obviously it's a temporary state unless you are a raging alcoholic, then it will be permanent. But I'm talking about being drunk for like a night or something, not for the rest of your life. So I'm drunk. Drunk is borracho. Yo estoy borracho. Right? If I say Anna is drunk, Anna está borracha. Right? Now, if I say Anna is pretty, that means Anna is a pretty girl. I mean, she has a pretty face, really big eyes, luscious lips. What the heck? I mean, Anna is pretty. So that will be Anna es guapa. And let's say if I meet Anna, I've invited Anna to a party and I meet her there and she's wearing a really nice dress and I want to compliment her and I want to say, you're looking very pretty today. Then I will say, tú eres, tú estás muy bonita hoy. Because I'm describing her the way I am seeing her right now. So there's a difference between you are pretty and you are looking pretty, right? If I say Juan is handsome, Juan is guapo. Like he's naturally handsome. It's a classically handsome man. But if I say Juan is looking handsome today, Juan está guapo hoy. So remember, the meaning of the adjective can change according to the verb that you're using it with. If you're using it with say, the meaning can be slightly different. If you're using it with estar, the meaning can change slightly. Okay, before we finish the class, let's do some examples. Now, Ana y María dash españolas. Ana y María dash españolas. What would come here? Ser or estar? I'm talking about nationality. Nationality is always ser, so it will be ser, obviously. Ana y María son españolas. If I say Ana y María dash en España, I'm saying Ana and Maria dash in Spain. I'm saying Ana and Maria are in Spain. I'm talking about their location. Location is estar, so this will be estar. Right? Now, if I say my house is very big, mi casa dash muy grande. I'm talking about what? a trait that is never going to change. If the house is big, it's going to remain big. It's not like that it's big tonight, tomorrow morning it will be small. So el mi casa es muy grande. If I'm saying, let's say, I am very busy today. Yo dash muy ocupado hoy. How busy? Again, you're not going to be busy for the every living moment of your life. Maybe some people are that way, but most of the people, if I'm busy right now, it's kind of a state that I'm in. I'm not going to be busy for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be busy for the next 40 hours. Right? So if you call me, hey, what are you doing? And I can say, I can't talk right now. I'm busy right now. So I'm describing the state that I'm in. So it will be yo estoy ocupado hoy. Right? If I say yo soy ocupado, that means I'm always busy every waking moment of my life. That does not make any sense. Now, if I say Lola dash de Lola es de Francia, in that case, I'm talking about the origin. Lola is from France. That is not going to change it, right? I'm talking about nationality or origin. Whenever you're talking about somebody's nationality or origin, that is always said that because that is something that is permanent in nature, that is never going to change. In that case, it would be Lola es de Francia. If I'm saying Lola is in Paris, then it will be Lola está en Paris because I'm talking about Lola's location. If I say Lola is very nice, I'm describing her nature. She's a nice person. Lola es muy simpática. Lola es muy amable. Right? That is not going to change. But if I say Lola is nervous, Lola está nerviosa. If I say Lola is very Lola is very if I say Lola is blonde, I mean that is not going to change. If she's blonde, she's going to remain blonde unless she decides to color her hair. But again, it's not a state like it's not a temporary state that you are in. If you are born with blonde hair, then your hair is going to be blonde for the rest of your life. So Lola is rubia. Right? Now if I'm saying Lola is worried. Now being worried is a temporary mental state. Lola está preocupada. So remember this. If you're talking about location of something and if you're talking about temporary physical or mental state, in that case, you'll be using estar. If you're talking about something that is permanent in nature, for example, nationality, origin, profession, um, color, possession, inherent traits, then you'll be using verb ser. Now, there are more things to learn about ser and estar, but in today's class, we are just going to end it here. In our next class, we are going to be looking at the adjectives that have different meanings with ser and estar. So when you use that adjective with ser, it means something different. And when you use it with estar, the meaning changes. So we'll be looking at that. And we'll also be looking at prepositions of places. For example, inside, outside, above, below, to the left, to the right, next to, opposite. And when you're using prepositions of places, you will mostly be using verb estar with it because you're talking about location of something. So with prepositions of places, you use estar most of the time because you're describing the location of something. I am far from your house. My house is next to the beach. The market is next to the temple. The temple is behind the church. There's a park in front of the church. The boys are outside the house. The cat is under the table. The book is on the table. So, with prepositions of places, you always use verb estar. And we'll also be dealing with donde in our next class. So enough for today. I hope that you found this class helpful. I'll be seeing you pretty soon in my next class. Till then, ciao.